Hi guys! Today I thought I'd show you some Christmas ornaments. I know it's only September, but a few people in the group have asked if I would do some, and especially as they are going to be attending craft shows as vendors, and I myself am going to be attending one soon. And I did these last year at a craft show, and they sold really well, so that's what we're doing today. I've rolled out some white clay on a number 1 setting on my pasta machine. You will also need some kind of Christmassy cutters, and I've got these stars, a snowflake, and an angel. You'll also need some UV resin. You will also need some Christmassy stamps, and I've got these snowflakes and also these little plastic snowflakes as well. And I will leave links to all of those things. You'll also need some embossing powder, and I've got gold and silver. You'll also need some glitter. I'm using silver, which I've just put into this little tin because it came in one of those plastic baggies and it was awkward getting the glitter out, so I've just poured it in that little tin. You'll also need some kind of metallic wax, and I'm using this silver rub and buff, but you could just use silver acrylic paint or gold or whatever colour it is you're using. And you will also need this Versamark ink pad for the embossing powders, an acrylic block, and let me think what else, some ribbon and a heat gun. So I'm just going to start with the angel first, and it's just a question of rolling out your clay and cutting out your shape. And I think I'm going to emboss part of this, so that will be done after it's baked, but I think I will also add a few little snowflake stamps on the angel's wings. So I'm just going to quickly stamp that like so. And I think that will be it for the angel, other than to cut out a hole, which you're going to need some smallish cutters for that. Smallish but big enough to fit the ribbon through at the end. Yeah, this one will work. I've got some clay stuck in there. So just cut your hole at the top. Like that. And that's all there is to that one until it's been baked, because I'm going to put some embossing powder on this one. So just scoop it off your tile. That's as simple as that for that first one. These are all really easy, guys, nothing to it really, but I just thought I'd show you, just to give you some ideas really. Okay, so let's go with the snowflake next. Same thing, roll out your clay, cut it out, and then decide whether you're going to stamp, emboss or both. And same thing for this one, I think I'll emboss this one, so I'm just going to leave the centre blank, and again just add a few little snowflake stamps on the edges there. You can see I'm not using the whole snowflake, I'm just going on the very edges of the snowflake. Oh, I also forgot to mention you're going to need some little rhinestones as well. I'll show you those later. And maybe some beads, and I've got these really pretty little beads as well. Just use whatever you've got, anything sparkly works for Christmas. So again, just stamp in the edge of this snowflake. and the middle's going to be embossed, so again I'm just going to leave that blank until it's been baked. So there's that one. And then last but not least, I'm going to cut out these star shapes. And this one I'm layering up, so I've got two. I just need to quickly roll out another piece of clay. So that's the bottom star. Let me just roll this one out, guys. I'm doing the stars on a number 2 because they're being doubled up. They don't need to be as thick. Okay, so that's rolled onto a number 2. I'm just going to cut the other star out. Now the back I'm leaving as is until after it's baked, but this one I'm just going to put a little stamp on it. Oh, I didn't use any of these bigger ones, did I? I think I'll go with this one then. So I'm just going to line this up, try and line it up so it looks good with the points of the star. And once again, just press. And that's all there is to that. Scoop it off your tile and place it on the bottom star, and I'm doing it so the points of the top star are going in between the points of the bottom star. Oh, I didn't put a hole in this one, did I? Need to put a hole in them so you can string a ribbon through. Where did it go? There it is. So let me think. Yeah, I'll put it in here. Like that. And a hole in this one as well. I'm just going to line this up a bit better. Gently press down so it's stuck together. And again, another hole. And it's as simple as that. So I'm going to go and put these in the oven. And then once they're baked, we'll move on to the next step. Okay, these are out of the oven. So we'll move on to the next step of embossing those areas that we didn't stamp. So that was the snowflake and the angel, and the star one I'll just put over here for the time being. So make sure you've got your pieces on some card, because then you can pour your embossing powder back into its jar. So I've just picked out one of my snowflakes on an acrylic block, and you will now need your Versamark ink pad, and I'm just going to tap that over the snowflake, which doesn't want to stick on my acrylic block, and just place it on your piece where you want it to go and stamp down. Then take your embossing powder of choice, I'll go with this silver one, and just pour it all over the area that you've stamped, like so, and then just tap it off. Now you may have a few bits sticking to it like I have on here. Just give it a quick brush with a dry brush and it will get rid of that excess glitter. Maybe a little blow. And that's that first one done. Same thing with the second one. Actually, let me just put this back in there. I'm going to go with gold on this one, so I'll just get rid of this silver. And get the other one. Do the same thing. Get my gold embossing powder. And again, just pat the Versamark over the stamp. Like so. And again, just place it on your piece. And a quick boop. Just make sure it's on there good. A little thing there. Okay, and then take your gold embossing powder. Well, I'm taking my gold embossing powder and just sprinkling it over there again. Like so. And again, just knock it off. And that's the angel. Okay, so that's the embossing part done. Just going to get rid of that for a second. Now we need to obviously use the heat gun on these. So it's going to be quite noisy, but bear with me while I just do these, okay? So that first one is now heat set, and I'll just go and do this second one off camera. I'll be back. So that's both of them done, and now we've just got these stamp parts that we need to deal with. So I'm just going to use silver wax on this one, and I've actually got some gold as well. So I might as well match gold with gold, silver with silver. I think I'll go with the antique gold. So all you're going to do for this is take a little brush, which I completely forgot about, and a kind of stiffish dry brush, and just take a little bit on your brush and just rub it over those stamped areas. Now, yeah, okay, it looks like I'm making a mess here, but don't worry. You just want to get that whole area covered, and it doesn't matter if it goes outside of the stamp, because we'll be getting rid of those areas. So just rub it over the stamped area. Like this. And I'm actually pressing fairly firmly on this because you want to really burnish it into the clay. But then what you need to do is let this sit and dry for a few minutes. I'm just trying to get in all those little nooks and crannies of the stamp. And I'm just going to go back over one more time just to make sure it's nicely burnished in. Now you could have actually done this pre-bake, and I have done it both ways, and obviously that way you don't have to leave it to dry because you've baked it in the oven, but I did it this way, so I have to leave it to dry. Obviously if you'd done it pre-bake you would have just rubbed it on gently with your finger because it would still be raw clay, and then bake it, and then that would have, you know, let it set on there. But because I did it this way, I'm using this brush, and then I'm going to leave it to one side to dry. So that's the silver one. Move on to the gold now. Just clean my brush a little bit. So same thing. I'll just get some of the gold. And same thing. Just rub it all over. Okay, so just going to leave that to one side, let it dry. And then let's move on to the star. I think I'll do this silver and gold. So I'm just going to take the gold again and rub over the stamped area with it. Just going to give this a quick burnish with my finger as well. Just going to add a little bit more, I think. This stamp's gone a little bit deeper, so I need a little bit more of this wax. So just play around, guys, just, you know, whatever Christmassy stamps and shapes you've got. You don't have to use the embossing powder, you could just go with this kind of thing that I'm doing now. Any colours you'd like, glitter, anything that sparkles. So that's that one. So I'm just going to leave these to one side for a few minutes, and when they're dry I'll be back. So now these have been left to dry. Whoops, I'll just show you. If I rub my finger over it, it's not leaving any of the wax on my finger. And I've just got a little bowl of water here and some 1000 grit sandpaper. You just need a light grit for this. And we're just going to sand over those stamped areas, and that will help remove where you went over the edges and just help to clean it up. So just gently sand, like I say, just to remove those bits of wax that went over the edges. Just dip it in there to clean it off, and that one looks nice and clean. So there's that one. Same on this. Just clean it off. And then the last one. Obviously, if you were using paint for this, you wouldn't be able to do this part because it would just rub the paint off. So either try not to go over the edges, or which is very difficult, I have to add, or get the wax. I guess if you were really light with it, it would be okay, but you would take some of it off. Like this one, you see, it has taken some of it away, but I kind of like that. And if you press harder, you can get some of that white clay to show back through, which I think actually looks kind of nice. So yeah, if you wanted to use paint, you know, you just have to be extra careful when you're sanding that area. I'm rambling, but I know what I mean. Okay, so they're all finished other than to resin them, and I'm just going to quickly dry them off. And it's time to resin. And as you can see, they're fairly big pieces. It's not like you're resining just a little pendant, so you are going to need quite a fair amount of resin for this, guys. And I do front and back as well, so yeah, it's quite a lot of resin. So I'm only going to show you one on camera because I'll be here quite some time putting resin on these, and I think I'll just show you the star one. So I've got my tile ready with my painter's tape on there, so I can stick my piece down and it won't move around. Just making sure this is completely dry. Okay, so just place it on there, and then yeah, I need another tile because I'm going to pour my resin on this tile. So get your resin and just pour some onto a tile. And this is how I do the back of my pendants as well, when I'm using resin and glitter. And I've just got this little scoopy thing. And the wire for my microphone keeps catching, just bear with me a sec. Okay. So just take a little scoopy thing and just add the resin, the glitter into the resin. And give it a good mix. You might need to add more, but we'll see. And then just take a toothpick or cocktail stick and mix the glitter into the resin. And I think that's probably enough glitter in there. Okay, now you're just going to take your cocktail stick and pick some up on there and drop it onto the areas that you want to resin. So I'm just going to do each of these little points on this star and just gently drag it over to the edges like this. And you would do this exact same thing if you wanted to do this on the back of a pendant, which is what I often do. Be careful not to drip it. And I always find it's best to drop the resin in the centre and then drag it gently to the edges. And you can always add more if you need it. It's better to go light first and add more as you need it. That way you're not going to cause it to overflow. And again, just drag it to the edges. I'll show you one more and I'll do the rest off camera. So just drop it into the centre and then gently drag it to the edges. So I'll finish this and then I'll be back. Okay, so I finished the points of this star, and I did actually cure it for a minute. And now I just need to resin the top and add these little flat back crystals that I've got here. So for this I'm just going to pour it straight on, and again I'm going to start in the middle, and with a clean toothpick, because you don't want to get any glitter on there, just start to drag it out to the edges. Just very gently move it around. And again, if you need to add more, you can add more. So these are quite easy to do, but yeah, they do take a bit of time with the resin. But I think they're so worth it, they look so nice when they're finished. I'm just going to add a little more resin. And I'm very careful to take it right to the edge, as close as I can. Like this. I think I've got it all. Just double check. Just keep turning it round and just checking all angles of it. Let's see. Yep, I think that's good. So now that's done, I'm just going to take my lighter and just run it quickly over, just to get rid of some of those air bubbles. And now I'm just going to add a few little crystals, and I've got this silicone tool. I'm just going to dip a little bit into the resin. It's just easier to pick up your pieces that way, she says. I always have trouble with this. Come on. Yep, it's not wanting to pick up. Let me just find some tweezers. You know what, I'm just going to pick it up with my finger and just drop it in the centre as best I can. And just move it into the centre of the piece, like this. Now you can add as many of these as you want as you would like. And there's a piece of glitter there. Just going to get rid of that. Like I say, you can add as many of these as you want. I'll try again with this and just add a couple of small ones here and there. Oops. Just move them into place. These smaller ones are picking up quite easily. It's the big ones that don't want to stick. And one more. Just need to find another small one. And that's that. Okay. So this just needs to go under the UV lamp, and I will resin the back. I'll do the same thing as I did on the edges. Pour some resin onto a tile, add the glitter and do the back, and I will also go ahead and do the other two. And when they're done, I'll be back. Okay, so I've finished them. I'll just show you quickly how I decorate with the ribbon and the bead, but this is what it looks like, and then on the back is also nice and glittery. So there's that one, and I just get some ribbon, fold it in half, and then push it through the hole. Need to fold it a little thinner to get it through. Push it through, bring it through to the back, and then add the bead. Just going to trim this a little bit. And then just add this bead. And then just add this bead. This is the bit I don't like doing. I don't like fiddly things. I'm trying not to get it too twisted, and then just pull the bead down like this. And then just tie a loop at the top. Oops, start again. Did I mention I don't like doing fiddly things? Okay, and then just pull the loop up like this. And then just tidy the edge of the ribbon, and there you have it. Okay, so that was the star one that I did, and then this is the snowflake one, and I've already done the ribbon and the bead, and again it's glittered on the back. So that's that one, and then that's the angel, and I used gold ribbon on this one. Okay, so they're the three that I did today. I'll just quickly show you a few more that I did. Here's another angel one. Exactly the same technique. You can just change them up a little bit so they don't all look identical. And then another star one. Okay. And I also did this cross one, which I kind of think is, I really like this. This was just the stamp on this one, I didn't emboss that one. So there you go guys, simple and beautiful Christmas ornaments. So that's all for today. Thanks for watching guys. Catch you later. Bye.